Well, I can't act like I'm surprised. Well, first off, this was supposed to be a different video. This was not intending to be a rant even remotely related to DC, but things changed when I was just kind of looking through, like, upcoming movies and everything, just scrolling for updates, essentially, and I did find an update. Let me move my chair back a little bit. I'm a little too close to the camera. That's better. So, yeah, essentially I was just kind of scrolling around looking for updates on, like, when we'd get, like, trailers or anything for movies that are coming later in the year. And when I looked through Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom, I found a ton of reports talking about the test screenings, and that apparently they're going really badly. Now, yeah, this was supposed to be, like I said, this was supposed to be a different video. This was supposed to be talking about, big shock, Disney destroying franchises. Like, this was supposed to be, like, a big rant about, like, upcoming Disney Plus movies that are already looking like they're gonna just wreck franchises with another sequel or remake. Like, you know the gist at this point. But that one's gonna be put on the back burner because I have to talk about this. This isn't gonna be a very long video because there's not a ton to talk about, but it still needs to be talked about. So, of course, this is going to be the sequel to the 2018 movie Aquaman, which was one of the biggest surprise hits of DC, essentially DC. It currently sits as still DC's highest grossing film of all time, sitting up roughly above $1.1 billion. And even as someone who hates the DCEU, I like the first Aquaman. I know it has problems, it definitely has issues, but it's one of the few DCEU movies that I actually legitimately like. And I have been saying that every once in a while. I've been saying I don't have a ton of faith in Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. And I know that's going to confuse some people. And if you haven't heard me talk about this in another video, essentially the reason why I don't trust that this, before today, why I didn't trust that this movie is going to be very good, 4 words. Wonder Woman 1984. Or 5 words. Wonder Woman 1984 is the reason. Because I liked the first Wonder Woman as well. I liked that movie, and the sequel was utter trash. Like, one of the worst comic book films we've ever gotten. So, that movie, that reason alone is why I didn't have a ton of faith in this movie. And apparently, my lack of faith is justified because the test screenings are not going well. Now, I don't usually trust test screenings because apparently the test screenings for the Flash movie are saying it's even better than The Dark Knight. And while I like The Dark Knight, I think it's a bit overrated. I don't think it's a flawless masterpiece, but I like the movie. But the Flash movie, if you saw my video on the Flash trailer, it looks like I think it looks like hot garbage. So I'm not really trusting those test screenings. However, the overwhelmingly negative response, like, okay, if it was just saying the test screenings aren't going well, I wouldn't really be talking about this, like, at all. Just big fucking whoop. But apparently, these test screenings are the movie is so bad that people are actually walking out of test screenings. I'm literally looking at articles, like, I have my laptop off screen, and there's talks of, it's boring. It's apparently one of the biggest complaints is that it's boring. And that one of these is saying that people have been saying it's one of the worst DC films, which, you know, DC's lineup, and not just in the DCEU, but DC as a whole has some of the worst movies ever made. I don't know if it's also referring to comparing it to movies like Batman and Robin and Superman 4 and Catwoman, but if it is, then, I don't know if it means by worst DC films, I don't know if it means that, or just by the DCEU. Like, it'd be on the same level of, like, Suicide Squad or Batman v Superman. Either way, we're in trouble. So yeah, it's saying it's boring, one of the worst DC films, and apparently people are straight up walking out of test screenings. I have never seen this before. I've seen reports of people walking out of theaters, like, after movies have come out. That's, like, I don't think there's a ton of movies that people walk out of because they're either boring or they're so rage-inducing that you don't want to finish it. I almost walked out of the Batman about halfway through because of a single line of dialogue out of Catwoman almost made me get up and leave. Go watch my review of that if you want more information on that. But yeah, but other than that one time, and it was just because of a single line of dialogue that pissed me off so bad that I almost left, I have never ever considered walking out of a movie, even when it's bad. Like, I sat through Last Jedi, Rise of Skywalker, Crimes of Grindelwald, Secrets of Dumbledore. I've sat through some BVS. I've sat through some shitty movies in the theater. And I have never seen test screenings, like reports of people walking out of test screenings. If people are walking out of test screenings, which usually you don't have to pay for, usually those are free, we're in trouble. That's not a good omen for this movie. They have approximately, February? They have 10 months to fix this movie, and I don't see them pushing it back. I really don't see them pushing it back again, especially since the new DCU's already kind of in motion. So I don't see them pushing this back to 2024. Right now, the only DC movie that's coming out next year is the Joker sequel, which I don't give a shit about, and the DCU starts off in 2025. I don't see them pushing this back. This is going to be released in December, whether the movie is fixed or not. So, yeah, that's all I got for this. I don't know what's going on with this movie, but apparently it's not very good. So, yeah, I guess I'll see you all next time. Bye.